Back here at the ACC tip-off event in Charlotte, our next guest is from Sydney, Australia. He represents the Australian national team, and of course he also represents the Duke Blue Devils. He is their sophomore point guard, last year a member of the ACC's All-Freshman Team, and he recently received the honor of being named a team captain, one of the first sophomores in program history to get that captainship. Speaking of Tyrese Proctor, Tyrese, welcome to the David Glenn Show. As a young person in Australia, you tried cricket and basketball, of course, but also soccer and baseball. Be honest, were you good at all of them right away?
Cricket, I wasn't the best, I can't lie. Soccer and baseball, I was definitely tossing up between those three. But just fell in love with basketball and stuck with it.
Now I know your dad played college ball in the USA, pro ball in Australia, where I guess he met your mom.
Yes.
Was Dad's influence what pulled you toward basketball, or was it just growing to 6'5"?
I was definitely around when Dad was playing, and always at a stadium, always had a ball in my hand. He never really forced it on me. It was always just natural and just something that I grew up playing and loving and have continued to play it, and then the height came with it, so it added a bonus for sure.
So Mom is Australian, Dad American roots.
Yes,
was she at one of his games, and that's how they met? And then how did they decide whether to put roots down in Australia or the USA?
Yeah. So they actually met at a party, and then they lost contact for a bit. He went back to America for a little bit, and then he ended up coming back out, and they got back in touch, and so sort of been with each other since. And what was the second part you asked?
I think you answered it. 2 years ago, you attended something called the NBA Global Academy. What is that, and what did you learn there?
Yeah, so the NBA Global Academy is a program that's under the NBA. NBA sponsored and all that. There's a couple different ones around the world. There's one in India, Latin America, China, Africa, and the global one is in Canberra in Australia, and it's pretty much we select the best out of all the players from all the other academies and have a team. There's 5 Australians on the team, the rest are international kids, and we travel all around the world and play. And I mean, for me it was really good just leveling up my game, playing against guys older than me and more physical and stuff like that, but also just the exposure piece, obviously being in Australia and not having the AAU and all that type of basketball with exposure. So just getting, playing around the world. I played in France, Hungary, was in America a lot, and just getting the exposure was really good for me.
I know the NBA is a global game, so that was on your radar probably as a young guy. Is college basketball also a big thing in Australia?
Yeah, I feel like it's developed over the years a lot more. There's many different routes that kids in Australia are taking now, whether it's professionally straight away, NBL, G League. Straight to the NBA is a choice as well, but I feel like college is becoming a lot more common, especially guys in the academy. A lot more guys are committing to schools, Division I schools that I've seen that I was in the academy with. So I feel like now it's really starting to take off with Australian basketball, and a lot more people are playing college basketball.
Duke's Tyrese Proctor is joining us here on the David Glenn Show. It's cool to represent Duke. You walk around with that on your chest. It's got to be cool to represent your country, right?
Yeah.
So you're asked to be on the senior national team. I know you were not only a part of, but one of the stars on the FBA Asia Cup. So you're a gold medalist for your home country. You're happy to be an ACC champion as well, but everything's a little different. What's it like to just be that for your country?
Yeah, it was huge. That was really my first big Australian tournament, just because of COVID and all the stuff that happened with that. I wasn't able to travel, but it was a blessing. Went to Indonesia, was with a lot of the boomers that play on the boomers today, and had a training camp before and went over, won a gold medal. We were undefeated at that tournament, and like you said, I was a key guy on that team and played a big role coming off the bench, and I knew my role and finished games the way I needed to, and I just had a good time overall. It was a really fun experience and something I'll never forget.
A funny part of your bio is that you were on the preseason list a year ago for the Jerry West Award, which goes to a shooting guard. Well, here you are, you're a guy with a 2-to-1 assist-turnover ratio. You're 6'5" or so, but don't you view yourself as a point guard now, both at Duke and at the next level?
Yeah, definitely. I think a big thing last year when Jeremy went down in that Purdue game, and I sort of had to take over the point guard position. I played point guard my whole life, and it just comes naturally. My dad was a point guard, and and obviously Coach Shire was a point guard, so we always communicated on that, and I just feel like it's my natural position. It's what I'm best at.
How do you get to be an 87+% free throw shooter?
I mean, I think it's just reps. It's time, knowing how important free throws are. My dad would always emphasize how important they are, so that's something that I always remembered and took really big pride in. Free throws win games, and that's just how it is. So just making sure I'm an elite free throw shooter.
I mentioned earlier, Duke has only asked 4 sophomores in the history of the program to be a team captain. Now, Jeremy Roach, we would have guessed. The veteran Ryan Young, we might have guessed. What did that mean to you, that you get to wear that jersey but also have that captaincy?
No, it's an honor. I'm very honored to be named captain by my teammates and coaches. Whether I was titled captain or not, I was still going to have to be a leader on the team, being Duke's point guard and having to be that vocal leader on the court, running the team, being in the back of Shire's ear and, us communicating on court. So, I'm honored, but regardless of captain, non-captain, I was still going to be a leader on this team and help us this year.
You were very good last year, but you were much better at the end of the year compared to the beginning of the year. What did you and Coach Shire circle as your off-season focus for improvement?
Yeah, just getting a lot more reps up, shooting off the dribble, catch and shoot, just really drilling my jump shot. The mechanics are all good. It's just getting reps up now. Confidence was always there, so just keep getting a lot of reps up. Another big thing was just my ball handling, getting the speed up to date, and those are mainly 2 things.
You missed the greatest coach of all time by 1 year. Just tell us, is Mike Krzyzewski a part of your life, even though technically he's not your head coach?
Yeah, for sure. Coach K is always around the facilities, at practices. Might bump into him in the hallway, walk around campus, but he's given me some great advice, especially last year, just speaking to him here and there, and he's Coach K, so he's been through it. He's been through every level of basketball, so just picking his brain and just talking to him about what I can do better.
As we let you go, a couple of your old teammates, Derek Lively and Tariq Whitehead, I don't know if they send you messages about life in the NBA now that they're first-round draft picks. A lot of folks have you as a lottery pick next year. Do you view this as your last year at Duke with an eye on the NBA?
I mean, NBA is my goal. It's always been my goal, whether it's my first freshman year, whether it was last year, this year, next year, whether I stay all 4 years. I just want to win, and I want to be a winner, known for being a winner. And I'm a big believer my time will come, and whether it is this year or next year, I'm just happy for just see my growth as a player, and I just want to win games.
Tyrese Proctor of Duke, thank you for your time on the David Glenn Show.